Hi, and welcome back to The Facts, the new news taking everything going on in the world currently and breaking it down into just the core information. No bias, no politics, just the facts. Now today has been the government statement that we have all been waiting for. So let's have a look at it, shall we? Firstly, I feel it is important to mention that there will be a statement in Parliament tomorrow to clarify elements of the announcement today. As well as the option for members of the public to send questions in. It is also vital to mention that we must maintain social distancing, and this has not changed due to this announcement. We also still cannot meet those outside of our own households. So, the Prime Minister has now laid out his sketch roadmap, but that's exactly what it is, a sketch. It is an outline that is subject to change depending on information and data that the government receives, a theme that runs through this announcement. Mr Johnson also said that this is not the time to ease lockdown. He said that the 5 tests set out previously have not yet all been reached. He also laid out a scale for the presence of COVID-19 in our country. This ranges from 1 to 5. 1 is the complete lack of COVID-19 in the UK. 5 is the NHS being overwhelmed. 4 is where we were during the first 7 weeks of lockdown, and Mr Johnson has now said that we are moving towards level 3. However, he did not explain to any depth what that meant. The Prime Minister did, however, say that a few changes will be happening. Number 1, some workers will be allowed back to work, such as those working in construction and manufacturing. Number 2, employers will be issued new guidance on how to keep their employees safe. There will be no limit on the amount of exercise that people can take this in one day. This will include things like sitting in parks, playing sports, as long as it is with members of your own family and your own household specifically, whilst also adhering to those strict social distancing guidelines to the other households around you. Number 4, no limit has now been placed on how far you can drive. Number 5, we have been asked to avoid public transport. If you have to drive, you can, but walking and or cycling is preferred. And lastly, number 6, fines for not adhering to social distancing will be increased. The Prime Minister has also said that soon they will start quarantining those who enter the country by air. No dates has yet been set for this. 2 provisional dates have now been released though, for a few additional changes. June the 1st, primary schools can start to reopen, starting with reception, year 1 and year 6. But bear in mind this does not then include secondary schools. On July the 1st, some hospitality businesses can reopen with social distancing in place. Please bear in mind that these are only guides and these are not set in stone, these are subject to change based on the data that the government has. Thank you for watching this episode of The Facts. Please like if you found it useful, share so others can see it, and subscribe so you can be more informed of what is happening in your world. Thank you, and that is the end of The Facts.